And welcome to the Checka Pro Radio Show. I am your host, Checka Pro Joe. We're broadcasting live from the 11th annual Woodlands Home and Garden Show in the Woodlands. Yeah, we're at the Marriott Convention Center. It's gorgeous here today. Beautiful day to come out to a home show. Don't worry, though. If this is the first you've heard of the home show and you can't come out today, you can come down tomorrow. Let me give you some information about the home show. It is the 11th annual. I've been doing this home show with Tony Wood, the producer, for a long time. I can't believe it's the 11th annual Home and Garden Show, the spring one. It is in the Woodlands at the Waterway, Marriott, and Convention Center. It closes at 7 p.m. today, and it's open tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. If you want to come down tomorrow, I've got a deal for you. Go to your computer. You can email me. I'm giving away a few sets of tickets to the Home and Garden Show in the Woodlands. And I know my listeners love when I give things away. As a matter of fact, I try to give things away every show now here on the Checka Pro Radio Show. Go to your computer and type in joe@checkapro.com. That's joe@checkapro.com. And in the subject line, let me know that you want tickets to the Home and Garden Show in the Woodlands, and I'll have 2 VIP passes waiting for you here at the home show. It's an $18 value. It costs $9 to get in if you want to come down and pay. And if you've got children 12 and under, they're absolutely free. Parking is free. And there's over 200 exhibits here at the home show. This segment of the Checka Pro Radio Show is brought to you by my good friend Richard Sod and his entire team at Nick's Plumbing. He's our plumbing expert here on the Checka Pro Radio Show. Call Richard and his team at 713-868-9907. 713-868-9907, or go to his website at nicksplumbing.com. You can also check him out at checkapro.com, as well as all of our other 200-plus pre-qualified Checka Pro members. Joining me here in the first segment of the Checka Pro Radio Show today, live from the Marriott here in the Woodlands, is Shannon Register from Register Real Estate Advisors. Shannon, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here. It's a great show.
Isn't it great?
Lots of people.
Awesome. Everything for the home, and that's your specialty.
That's right.
You help people find their dream home. I want to talk about the market today. It is crazy.
It's hot.
It is hot. The weather's not hot, but the market's really hot.
That's right.
You know, here we are, early March. Things are already humming. People aren't even really talking about, oh, we need to get into the right school now. I mean, that comes in June and July.
That's right.
It's already humming. What's going on out there? What happened?
You know, it happened very quickly. We went from a buyer's market to a seller's market so fast. And what happened is we ran out of inventory. I mean, we have such low inventory in the Houston area that there's such a high demand for housing, because we know there's people moving here from all over the country. I mean, because we have so many jobs available. And so with all this influx of people, you know, it's just taking a lot of homes to take care of all these people. So we've got a high demand for rent, and we've got a high demand for purchasing homes as well. So low inventory right now. We actually have lower inventory in the Houston area than we do on a national scale.
It's huge. So I'm assuming that the builders are happy. They must be building like crazy. If there's low inventory, right, then there's demand to build.
There is, you know, but the problem is a lot of builders are still having the lending issue. So we see a lot of the big builders who can get money from their shareholders and who have really deep pockets to build are doing well. The smaller builders are still having a lot of problems getting the money to buy the land to develop and you know, to have the land to build on.
So the builders haven't totally recovered yet from the 2008 crash.
No.
So they're slowly coming up.
They're slowly getting back, though.
But consumer confidence is big.
Big, yes.
And people are obviously able to get loans easier now than they were a few years ago.
Yes, I believe it is getting a little easier. We still have appraisal issues in some areas. We still have some lending issues. But the thing is that people who keep their credit in pretty good shape, who make a pretty good income and been on their job for a couple of years, they have the ability to buy. You know, those that can't buy have never been able to buy. You know, I mean, it's those who can afford a house and have the ability to purchase are out there willing and able at this time, where they haven't been for the last couple of years.
Sure, and there are really 3 big key things. You have to have good or very good credit, especially today.
Yeah.
I think the mark is 750 plus is really good. If you have 800, it's not going to do you much better than 750, 760. But if you're down in the high fives, that's just not good.
Not good enough, no. Got to have at least a 640, 650 at least. I think that you really have to understand how the game is played right now, though, because a lot of the reasons that people aren't getting loans are things that we see that are just silly, like, for example, you've got the down payment money, but then Christmas came along and you spent it, and, or you put money on the credit cards and now you don't qualify. Well, buying a couch shouldn't keep you from qualifying for a house.
But it can.
But it can.
That's the problem.
Because of the way lending issues are going. So you really have to know how the game is played. You can't... you just have to be careful what you tell your lender and how you handle that whole situation, because there are a lot of things that can get in the way of you purchasing.
Sure. I think the best thing to do is get your credit score up as high as you can.
Yes.
Save as much money as you can to put down. You need at least 20% if you're going to be doing a jumbo loan. If you're going to be doing a traditional loan, not a conventional, not necessarily that much, but it wouldn't hurt. Certainly the lender wouldn't mind if you put 20, 25% down.
The more you put down, the easier it is to get a loan, for sure.
Yep. And you need to have some source of income that can be verified, a good source of income, verified for at least 2 years now, right?
Yeah, and that's one of the things that people who own their own companies have a problem with is even going back on 2 years tax returns, you write a lot of stuff off, it's hard to get a loan. So, people who can afford a house may not necessarily qualify for a house. So a lot of issues going on with lending. But, the market is still hot. We've got people who can afford houses and qualify for houses. The consumer confidence is up. They're ready to buy. And now you've got this lack of inventory out there.
Sure. What is the sweet spot in price range? 100 to 150, 150 to 200, 300 to 400? Where is it?
It's kind of all over the place. Luxury houses have been moving well in the Houston area, but then you've got, your family homes, and in the suburbs, they're $200,000 to $300,000 houses are moving well. It just depends on what neighborhoods you're in, what areas you're in, but all the different price points are doing great because there's a demand for housing at all these different price points.
It's incredible. I've been telling people that Texas, and especially Houston right now, but the state in general, is like the new world. A few hundred years ago, everybody was rushing to the new world, North America, to what is now the United States, to start over.
Right.
And you know what? Things are crashing in Nevada, or they had crashed there, California, Michigan, Florida, and there are so many people moving in from those states. And the people who moved in from California, some of them actually have money from equity in their homes, and they can go out and they can buy a $600,000 house. It's nothing because it would have cost $3 million where they came from, and they're gobbling up a lot of stuff. But a lot of people are coming here, which is good and bad. The good is it's great for our local economy.
Absolutely.
The bad news is if you haven't gotten into a house, it's going to be more difficult to do so.
It's more difficult to find the house that you want as demand decreases, but the demand, as the demand decreases, it also increases housing prices, which is what all sellers have wanted over the last 2 years, is for the housing prices to go back up. So it's a process. It's evolving. And
it'll go up and down. And, in 3, 4, 5 years, we might be having a different conversation again because the real estate market always goes up and down. At times, it remains even. And some people say, well, at this time in the market, it is a buyer's and seller's market evenly. But then there's always that shift going up and down, back and forth. Right now, I guess depending upon price point, you could say that some parts of the area are an even match between a seller's and a buyer's market, depending upon the price point and the part of town. But in some areas, if you don't get a bid in now and you don't go, 2-3% higher than asking, you won't get it.
Yeah, and we see different neighborhoods having different issues. There are little pockets where, like you said, that's exactly what's going on. And then there are other areas that just are doing well. Everything's going great. So, you do see that different areas, it varies across town because we live in such a large area. I mean, Houston area is so large. You're going to have varying pockets. But overall, it's a seller's market.
I've heard that we should expect continued growth, 10 to 20% on a regular basis of new people moving here.
Yeah.
Great place to do business. Great place to raise a family. For an old guy like me, the weather's great. I miss,
No shoveling snow.
Exactly. I really don't miss the winters. I sometimes forget. I'll turn on the news and there'll be a snowstorm in New York City. I'm like, wow, it's winter, I guess, isn't it? Not here, it's not.
And you walk outside and it's not here.
No. And so it's a great place to come. And people are coming down to Texas more and more frequently. As things continue to be bad in other places, they become better here. And it's great. I can't imagine a better place to be than the great state of Texas.
I agree. I love Texas. I'm
It's
a transplant
gorgeous.
here, but I still love it.
I'm a transplant as well. What is the best way for people to get a hold of you? You are a real estate expert here on the Check Up Pro Radio Show, and,
I am.
and
I'm
you're
a
based in the
broker.
Spring area, and you cover a pretty wide stretch of land here in Houston. Tell me the best way to get a hold of you.
You can go to our website at RREA.com. It stands for Register Real Estate Advisors. And you can also call our office, 281-288-3500. And, we have realtors all over town that help different people in different situations. And we stay busy. It's a great time to buy, and it's a good time to sell. And we continue to see housing prices rise. This is exciting.
That's www.rrea.com, 281-288-3500, 281-288-3500. This is really your home. We're at the Woodlands Home and Garden Show, broadcasting live from the Marriott Convention Center. There are thousands of people here, a couple hundred of exhibitors here, and this is really home for you. Your office is right down the street.
Right at Louetta and I-45, right between Woodlands and Spring.
Exactly. Right. This is one of the hot spots in Houston right now.
Sure.
Exxon's moving to town. Let's talk about that. What kind of impact are we going to have?
It's having a big impact. I mean, our office is less than 5 miles from where Exxon is going in, and so all those neighborhoods around there are feeling demand from that. But you also have a lot of demand for new construction, larger houses. So, there are 2 new master plan communities that are going to go in between the Woodlands and Spring, which is exciting. It's like any large project. It comes in phases. You kind of see the waves of people coming. It'll slow down. It'll come and go. So it'll ebb and flow as we go into the spring. And hopefully, I anticipate it to be a very good spring, especially for sellers. Get your house out there on the market. Get it ready first. Get it on the market. And I believe you're going to have I believe it will probably sell within 4 months, because overall in Houston, we're at 3.7 months of inventory. So.
Wow. Awesome. Let's talk about getting the house ready for sale. I love talking about this. You've heard me say before that the homeowner needs to mentally move out. They need to stage their home. They need to make it look like a model home. One thing you might want to do is go look at a model home.
That's
See what they're doing. Notice how things look. It's not cluttered. It's clean.
Paint colors they're using.
Paint colors. Smell the house. Are they using some type of scent? Are they, baking something? All that is on purpose, and it works. Every new model home smells good. It's like a new car smell. There's a new home smell, and that's on purpose.
Yes.
And we need to do that in our own homes. Even though you raised your family in that house and you bought it for $100,000 and you think it's worth $200,000 today, it really doesn't matter what you think. It matters what the market thinks.
And it doesn't matter how much you've poured into it.
It just does not.
It doesn't.
If you put an $80,000 pool in the backyard last year, it's not worth $80 today.
Right.
Sorry. No one cares. You have to understand, yes, it's your baby, but you have to let your baby go. You have to remove yourself from it and try to look at it objectively from the outside. And the best way to do that is to call Shannon. She can come in and she'll tell you what you need to do. You're not shy, right?
Nope, not shy at all. I tell people what to do because we want it to sell. We want it to sell quickly. We want it to show well. We want people to like it. It takes a lot of effort to get people in your house to see it. They've got to first see it online and like the pictures. They've got to, watch it a few weeks and see what's going on with it. And then they finally make the appointment, get the realtor, go out and see it. It takes a lot to get them in the house. So when they're there, you want it to be perfect. If that is the house for them, you want them to make the offer right then.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's start with the curb appeal. When they roll up to the house, we need to have our flower beds looking good.
If you don't, they'll keep rolling.
They'll keep rolling. I mean, that is the first thing.
That's right.
No, I've done it myself. Let's keep rolling. Roll up the window and keep moving.
Yep.
You need to get the weeds out of the bed. You need to put mulch down. It's very simple, very inexpensive to do that.
Yes.
You need to make sure the grass is as green as it can be.
And
Mow
those
the
are all
grass.
things you can do yourself.
It's
you don't
simple.
have to hire anybody to do that.
Yeah. If you need it pressure washed, you can hire a pressure washer or you can do it yourself. The front door. I've seen some front doors that just look hideous.
It's not that expensive to get them restained.
Exactly.
It's
we actually have a member that's just a few doors down here right at the home show, Rick's Front Door, and he refinishes front doors.
And it just changes the look of the front of a house when you have a nice-looking front door.
It does.
Very important.
It is the first impression. So make sure that your front door looks outstanding. Then when you go into the house, if you have carpeting, how old is it? Is it worn or dirty? It might be too far gone to even clean it. take it up then and put it down. Put new
and get
down.
it stretched if you're not going to replace it.
Please, yes. There's nothing worse than seeing all the bumps and the
ripples,
rolls.
yes. And it doesn't matter how new. It can be a year old and still have ripples in the carpet just because of our weather here in the Houston area. Hot, cold, the humidity. So doesn't necessarily mean it needs to be replaced, but get it stretched out, get it cleaned.
Sure. If you've got Formica or tile countertops, you don't even need your realtor to tell you this. I'll tell you this. Find someone to put granite in.
Mm-hmm.
Simple. Just do it.
It's
put
not
the granite
that costly. If it's a small kitchen, not that costly to do that.
Exactly. Hey, Shannon, thanks so much for joining me here today on Check A Pro Radio. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me.
Okay, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to further our discussion with other Check A Pro members live from the Home and Garden Show in the Woodlands. And if you haven't gone to your computer yet to order your free passes to come down to the show tomorrow to see us, go to your computer and email me, joe@checkapro.com. That's joe@checkapro.com. Put in the subject line that you'd like 2 VIP passes, and I'll have them waiting here for you for the Woodland Show. We'll be right back right after this on the Check A Pro Radio Show.